I honestly don't feel like there's anything more important than this, than the simplicity of coming back to the present moment, of feeling your breath, of tuning into your senses, of being so deeply in your body, in your life, that you remember what it really means to be alive. Here, now. Let this moment be so sacred, a remembering of who you were before the world told you who you should be. I see you. I feel you. Welcome to the Freya podcast. Welcome home. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Freya podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how do we know if this is our truth or somebody else's truth? How do we know if this is our intuition or if it's just a fear or a mind thought pattern that we picked up from somebody else that we think is true? This is something that's really coming up for me right now. I feel like I'm in this rebirth energy where my soul and my body are in this new level of life, and my mind is still kind of in the outdated version of me. And it's extremely confronting right now. And I'm going to speak a little bit on that because truth, we have associated it with being what we know. And what we know isn't always our truth, especially not for women and even for men. I can't speak on men because I'm not a man and I don't feel this as much as you guys do. But I know men are more rational beings. But I still believe that as a man, your truth lives in the body and your heart. I still do strongly believe that. But since I'm not a man, I'm going to speak for women. Women, when we are connected to our bodies, to our breath, to the present moment, because the present moment and the world as it is right now, nature, everything that we see here now in this moment is also a reflection of our connection to our body. So, for example, when you're walking outside in nature and you're going out into the woods and you're looking at all the trees and all the leaves and all the things, and then you're just noticing how everything is just so perfectly imperfect in nature and how nothing is ever rushed and everything is just completely as it is. That is also a reflection of you at your most purest state. So when we're disconnected from nature, we are also disconnected from our bodies and our intuition. And right now, what I have been experiencing in my life is that I know I'm going places. I just don't know where exactly. I just know that every single moment of my life, I'm getting downloads of what it is that I want to contribute to the world, how I want to do it. And sometimes those don't make any sense. Like, it's just like, I get these visions and I'm like, how the fuck am I going to make this work? And I want to speak on that because the part of me that always needs more time into getting on board with where I'm going is my mind. And this is why breathwork for me has been such a complete game changer. It's because I have learned to bypass the mind, get into my body, feel, and not give so much importance to the thought patterns that were keeping me in a very fear-based mentality. As a person who has had anxiety, who has had a very anxious personality, and who still has an anxious personality when I feel misaligned in my life, I have had to learn how to let my brain talk without giving it importance, and knowing that my brain is just trying to keep me safe. And that's the brain's job. What the brain is going to do in your life is it's going to try to keep you safe in the things that you've always done that have kept you quote unquote safe. But there comes a time in your life where you start getting bored and you feel kind of stuck, like you're in this like prison. This is what I'm talking for myself. And that prison is created by your thoughts. So, when you want to do something and then the thoughts are like, yeah, but what if you fail? Or what if people don't like you? Or what if you run out of money? What if your friends don't like that, or your boyfriend or your kids? And what if? This is the mind. And the mind loves to overthink absolutely everything because that is its job. Its job is to keep you safe. And that has probably worked in the past. Like, this is why we have disconnected from our hearts and our intuition, because there are moments in our lives where we probably felt unsafe, and the thoughts or the things that we were told to do worked. It's not that our mind is bad. It's just that our mind is trying to keep us alive until we reach this plateau and we realize that our mind is keeping us from being alive. And I'm going to speak on that in a way where I really hope it lands for you guys. I want you to just take a moment today, or whenever you're watching this, when you stop watching this podcast, and just start observing your thoughts. Start observing this chatter, this voice in your head that just never stops talking and just kind of comments on everything you're seeing. And this can be as dumb as like you're walking and, oh, look at the birds. Oh, look at the trees. Oh, look at that. Or it can be like, oh, you're not doing this. You should be doing this. Oh, this is. It can be very like chaotic, or it can just be like, oh, I'm just telling you everything you're seeing, just making sure you're seeing it, And I just want you to notice how often this voice talks. And I guess this is why so many people have so much trouble meditating. It's because once you sit still and you just stop doing everything that you're doing, that voice is all you can hear. And it's just like, no, fuck this. I'm not staying still right now. Or is why some people disconnect completely and just fall asleep. It's like, but to be present in your body, alive, breathing, and just still here is the word that I'm looking for is like such a gift. Let's say it like that. It's such a gift to be able to be present, still, and not be scared of what's going on in the mind. So yeah, I've been confronted with this recently because I have been wanting to get into the new level with Freya and just like wondering what to do next and feeling very lost in this world where, like, oh, buy this course and do this and like do this website, do this funnel, do it on Squarespace. You might relate if you're an entrepreneur, you might not, but like just trying to find a way to put what I've acquired over the 10 years of my inner spiritual awakening, and just to share it with people, just because this is like where I'm at. I know this is where I'm at. And I would get so stuck on the details, on the like, oh, should I use this platform or should I use that? And then should I pay for this? And then should I hire this person to make this? And I got so lost so many times. And I realized, wow, can it not just be very simple? But I was so connected to the mind in that process because I thought, no, we need a system. We need a this, we need a that, we need for it to work. And we do need a system. We need for it to work. But I was so ahead of myself that I got so lost and I never started. I never did anything. Like well, I did do some things, but like nothing really online because I just was like, this isn't good enough. This isn't this isn't that. And, spent a lot of money just turning in circles to realize, wow, I'm back at square one. I started this podcast a year ago. Now I'm back here because I got a sign from the universe. And I was like, where do I go next? Where do I go next? I'm going to trust that you're going to show this to me. And I was doing a meditation in my bed before going to sleep. And I was doing it on Spotify. And I hadn't ever thought about my podcast like in a year. Like I tried it and I was just like, oh, okay, not this. Because it, didn't work at first. And I like posted 2 or 3 episodes and I thought it would work straight away. The instant gratification of it all working the second you do it. It's like, no, you need consistency, you need effort, it takes time, to build something like this. And yeah, I was in my bed doing this meditation, and how at the end of podcast or meditations that you do on Spotify, something else starts without you starting it. It just starts something else. And the voice I heard was my voice, and it was my podcast. And I was like, how is this playing? Like, why did Spotify just put this on? And then I realized I had to ask for a sign of what to do next. And I took it as that sign. I was like, oh gosh, maybe it's as simple as that. It's as simple as just being consistent in a podcast, because I love doing this, guys. I love talking to you guys. For me, it's just a pleasure to be able to open up and share everything that I'm going through, and for you guys to like learn or grow or evolve from this. This is so easy for me. It's like, but it's so easy that it's like, can it be this easy? Can it really be this easy? Can I like really do something and make it work if I'm like, can it be easy, or do I have to always complicate it with my mind, So going back to the subject of the beginning, how do we know if this is our truth? I've been realizing that, my gosh, there are so many things that I want in my heart, just visions, dreams, things that come through, I see things in advance a lot of the times. Like I get these visions, these things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to happen? Or is this going to, and I kind of just have learned to let it go and trust. But then when I get, okay, we're doing this, I go back into my mind and I try to make a plan, a step-by-step plan of how to get to where I want to go. And my mind is so chaotic when I'm like emotionally attached to what I want. So coming back to the simplicity of what is your truth? How do we know if this is our truth? How do we know if this is our intuition? Your intuition isn't going to be a loud thought that you hear over and over and over again that screams for your attention. Intuition is soft. It's a feeling. It's a deep inner knowing of like, this is it. And if you're not connected to the present moment, if you're not connected to the body, if you're constantly looking for the answer in the mind, like when you're in this thought pattern of overthinking something because you're scared of the outcome, or you don't know the outcome, and because it's unknown, it feels unsafe, and so the mind tries to find solutions, plans to not feel what you're feeling, which is discomfort because you don't know what's next. That's not the intuition. The intuition is soft, gentle, expansive. It makes you come alive. And often when you have an intuitive hit or something that you want to do, the mind is going to try and convince you that it's not the right thing to do because it's unknown, because it's unsafe, because you've never experienced that before, because you've never been this version of yourself. So for me, when I started doing breath work, I was doing like an inner clean of my body, like an inner spring clean of a lot of trauma, a lot of fear, a lot of emotions that I have kept in my body that had given me symptoms such as panic attacks, eczema, digestive issues, whole lot of shit or a lot of gifts that have allowed me to finally listen to my body, because that's what it does. You know, when you're not listening to your body is going to scream, and your body is screaming just to get your attention. And so my body wanted my attention, and it did it through these symptoms. So it wasn't shit, it was a gift. And when I started listening and going in my body and started breathing into those things, I started healing. Yeah, healing, inner healing through the breath, through the presence, through being here now, alive, fully here to experience my emotions, to feel them, to move through them. And my body and soul, like, are moving faster than my mind. So when you're at a plateau in your life and you feel like you're just about to up level, or you're wanting to jump, or you're wanting to start something new, and you're wanting to put yourself out there, and then you feel it in your body, notice if the mind is the last thing to follow. Because this is what I have been experiencing. My mind is like, fuck that. You're not going there. It's unsafe. You don't know where you're going. Watch out. And my mind really screams louder at night. So like these fears come up, and then sleep gets impacted and all this stuff. But like these are my little, I call them little love notes from my body, little love notes from my mind, that is like this like inner child that's just like, I'm really scared. I'm really scared because I don't know where I'm going. And instead of getting mad and fearing those thoughts, even if sometimes they're not cool, you know, let's be real, these aren't happy, beautiful thoughts that I get. They're quite scary, restrictive, outdated, irrational, like the worst case scenario of any freaking situation on earth. Like these are just thoughts that are just like, don't do this because this could happen. And this is the worst thing that could happen. So don't do it. And I'm just like watching all this. And oh my God, sometimes I get lost in it. Sometimes I get confused. But then here I am talking about this on my platform, and it makes so much sense that the mind is the last thing to follow, because its only job is to try and keep us safe. But when we've created the safety within our bodies, within our breath, within the present moment, and we know who we are, we know what we're worth, we know we're connected to here, to our hearts, to our bodies, to our breath. We learn to walk hand in hand with fear. We learn to walk with these thoughts. And there's a phrase that Melanie Ann Layer, a coach, a mentor that I absolutely love, she spoke and she said, old paradigms don't need to die in order for new ones to be born. And this, I remembered this while walking today, because I was asking just to like receive a sign about why my thoughts were so agitated recently, and why my mind was kind of going a little bit chaotic and crazy. And I just felt like, what is this? And I'm realizing that I am stepping into this new paradigm, this new version of myself, this new way of being that I feel in my heart is the way to go. But that doesn't feel safe, because this is unknown. This is not what normal people do in society. This isn't like there's no step-by-step plan. There's no safety net. Like the safety net is me. And when you become your own safety net, you really have to have a deep connection to yourself, to your body, to your breath, to be able to connect with the creator, the universe, life, and know that you are so divinely supported if you are trusting your heart, if you are trusting yourself. And the last piece to follow is the mind. So if your mind is overly active right now, if you're wondering why you're getting anxious, why you're getting stressed, why you're getting all these thoughts that won't stop, this is because you're moving out of your comfort zone, and you're needing to find safety within yourself. Because at this new level of the version of yourself that you desire to be in your heart, you're going to need this certainty within you. And the thoughts don't need to die in order for this new version of yourself to exist. We don't need to push away these thoughts. We don't need to numb them. We don't need to be mad at them or not want them there. We don't need any of that. We don't need to fight against them. We just need to embrace the fact that they're trying to keep us safe. And that because we're safe here, we can walk hand in hand with those. We don't need to be scared of them anymore. And there's so much emotion that comes up for me because there are so many moments in my life where I was so fucking scared of what I was hearing in my head. And there are still so many moments in my life where I'm so fucking scared of what I hear in my head. And that's not my truth. It's not my truth. My truth is here. And every single day where I come back to my heart, where I come back to my present moment, where I come back to the present moment, where I come back to the breath, I realize that everything is here. There's nothing missing. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing good. There's nothing bad. There's just this moment as it is. And in those moments of my life, I can choose whatever it is that I want in the moment and move in this way instead of moving in a way that my mind wants me to move, which is safety, which is not freedom, which feels so tight, like, oh, like I'm stuck, because I haven't been taught how powerful I fucking am, And that's the part that Freya is here to do. It's here to bring you back to the power that exists within you. So that when these thoughts come up, when these fears come up, when these things come up, they're like, thank you. Wow, thank you for showing this to me. Because now I can walk with these without giving them any power. Just like, hello, you little child. Like, I see you. I know you're scared, but there's no monsters here. Like the same fucking thing as we tell a child who thinks there's a Grinch in the bathroom. And I'm laughing because my little son, Brooks, and he's 3 years old, and he just thinks that there's a Grinch in the bathroom. And I keep telling him, there's no Grinch in the bathroom. It's fine, let's go see. The Grinch isn't there. The Grinch lives in the TV, and just like, helping him with this Grinch. But it's like the mind is going to keep telling you there's a Grinch in the next version of yourself, in this new thing that you're wanting to do, or this new personality that you're wanting to be, or this new relationship, or this whatever it is that your heart is calling you towards. The mind's going to say there's a Grinch. But if there is a Grinch, it doesn't matter. We're going to be okay anyways. But the Grinch is so fucking scary. But no matter what Grinch or what thing that comes our way or what emotion, it's cultivating that inner safety, that inner certainty that no matter what, even if things don't go as planned, even if I fail, even if people laugh at me, even if worst case, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, I'm going to evolve. Worst case. Like, even if the worst case scenario is whatever it is, and these worst case scenarios for me are often the worst case scenarios, like as close to worst case as it can get, almost like death, like dying. It feels like I'm dying. And then once again, it brings us back to this cycle of rebirth. Like, yeah, this is what it is. A part of me is dying. A part of me is dying because this part of me isn't me anymore. Because if it were me, it would feel comfortable in me. If it were me, I wouldn't even notice it. It's not me because it feels, ugh. And maybe at one point in my life, I didn't even notice it because I was just listening to my thoughts. This is more how I was. But now, because I'm noticing them so much, it's like, this isn't the aligned version of me anymore. This doesn't have its space in this new version of myself. So it's as simple as that. It's like, wow, okay, this doesn't feel aligned anymore, but I'm going to still hold on to it, and I'm still going to hold it, and I'm going to no. It's like we're just going to recognize that it's still there, that these thoughts are there, but that they're not our truth anymore. And we're going to walk towards our truth. And our truth lives in our hearts. It lives in our bodies. Our intuition is there. So let's end on this. I want you all to just take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Connect to the body. How is this making me feel in my body? Is there any resistance? Can I feel my heartbeat? Can I feel my breath moving in through my nostrils? What do I hear? What do I feel? Just tapping into presence and space of this moment. Nothing to do, nothing to plan, nothing to think, just here now. Your truth lives within your body, within your heart, within your soul. And in order to hear truth, in order to hear your truth, in order to hear your intuition, you have to come back home. So when the mind and the thoughts start spiraling, you just take it as a beautiful love note that you're being asked to come back home. This is where you ground. This is where you rest. This is where you find stability, safety, security, certainty. And once you find that here, in the moment, in the breath, in you, you can move forward. And those thoughts will keep talking. And that's okay. But you know your truth. And you walk towards your truth. And you walk towards that version of you that you know in your heart you are meant to be. And you see and you look at those thoughts and you hear them and you just say, I hear you. I know what you're doing. You're trying to keep me safe, but I am already safe. I am already whole. I am. And then in that moment, presence becomes your compass. Presence becomes your safety. Presence becomes your answer. In this moment, everything is clear. Not in the past, not in the future, not in 3 days or 3 months. Here, now. How do I feel? Breathe. That's all you need to know. In every moment, bring yourself back to the simplicity of being alive, here now. And let that be enough. Let that be your step-by-step plan. The more present I am, the more aligned I am, the more connected I am, the more open I am to receiving the divine next steps of my life. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this has awakened something within you. Feel free to share with someone who might need to hear this. I love when you guys share and comment and do all the things. I read every comment, respond to every comment. I love it. And thank you for being here. All right. Have a beautiful day. Bye.